Hey, how's it going? You know, I just realized I could have probably made this silly little setup taller. So I'm going to just try and do that. And while I'm screwing around, I mean messing around, and what am I hooked on over here? Oh my god. Please look at my signs. Do 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 do. Oh, can't do that. That sounds too much like something. Never mind. Okay, I'm done. Please do not fall. Oh, look, a rubber band got attached to me. You'd be surprised what's up here. Or maybe you wouldn't. You know, it doesn't matter. That is not what I'm here to talk about. What I am here to talk about is some cards that I pulled. But first, I didn't quite finish saying all that I wanted to say about money yesterday. I forgot a point that I wanted to make, or something. I forgot to say something. It doesn't have to be all fancy. It's not like that. It's not like that here. But I did write some stuff down about it, so I would remember. And basically, what I wanted to say was pertaining to that video. And one of the things that this guy was saying in the video, or the narrator, was that some people make it okay for themselves to be in poverty, or to not be in abundance, or to be in lack. I'm paraphrasing. I don't remember exactly the way he said it, but I remember the way it made me feel. I was like, you said what now? Because he made it sound like being like not slavering, like, and drooling for money like a money vampire. You know, it was like it was like something was wrong with you. And I know this was a spiritual video, and they didn't specifically say that it was channeled. And by the way, channeling is not that special. Whenever all of us do something, it can appear in many forms, but it doesn't mean that you have to go into a trance and that you have like all of your other psychic senses or any turned on. It's more banal than that, I guess you could say. We all, what was that? Something happened. We all do it all the time. Anyway, so this station, I was gonna call a YouTube channel a station. Well, that particular channel, anyway, often has channeled materials where they say it's channeled from such and such an entity, or you know, it lists it. So this doesn't say that. So and it's actually a guy, the guy whose channel it is, I believe he's reading from someone else's work about this subject. So that said, what was in the midst of the text that the guy was saying was that, like, not striving and like being a hustler for abundance in the form of riches, like, you have something wrong with you. I mean, that was the feeling I got from what he said, which I don't remember word for word. Sorry. It's not, I put the video in the information box of the video previous to this one. And I can't remember the title of it. I think it's something like, put this in your wallet if you want to receive abundance. I don't know. It's got an open wallet on the, well, you're not going to be able to see it because it's going to be embedded in my information box. You're going to have to go there and find it. But it is listed. There's a link there. There's two links there, and they're both listed, so you know which one to click on. Yama, yama, yama. I'm just going on. Okay, so I thought, wait a minute. This video is about like how to tune yourself, your frequency, to the proper reception, to be in the receptive state to induce money to come toward you. I kind of just bristle at it because I'm not sure that's what I want. What came out in my notes is something that I've kind of always said. More would be good. I could use it. But I don't want more than I need. I just want what I need. I don't want like all the rest of it, and because I don't care about all the designer stuff, and like I feel kind of utilitarian about it, about money. So I just thought, like, well, for one thing, remember that all of these videos, including mine, where someone is saying stuff to you, just remember it's just some person, and they may have some esoteric knowledge or some kind of skill that they can impart to you, and maybe may be an authority in their field, but in your personal field, they don't have that authority. Their accreditation is no good here inside your own personal bubble, right? Or in your truth. So, if that's what you're into, and I'm being kind of like I don't know, I'm not being very nice about it, about what he said, and only thinking of it in the negative terms, or they're negative to me, like to be a hustler and to chase those millionaire, billionaire dollars and to have that life. I do not find that appealing. Like, if that's what you're into and that's your deal, like, that's unattractive to me. However, having good stuff, nice stuff that lasts for a long time, that is good quality, that is important. That I don't disagree with. I would love to greatly enhance my living circumstances, because, man, water from the outside just wants to come in here, and it's just been the whole time I've lived here since 2004 till present, and it's like I'm ready to move somewhere else. I'm ready to live somewhere else now. Please. It's so hard. It's so hard if you have like a real income, which I don't. I mean, I do, and I have a lot of my needs covered. I'm not at all complaining about that. What I am complaining about is they give you, with Social Security, which is my deal, just under what you need. So it's like you're constantly juggling and sacrificing, you know, like my particular thing is not the medications, because I don't have that's covered for me, but just like basic stuff, it's gotten so expensive. And why am I talking about that? Does it have to do with what I started out talking about? Well, only I'm going to stop talking about that, my personal thing there, except to say that it is the opposite of getting what you need and not more. It's getting just under what you need, and you still need more, if any of that makes sense, because I lost myself. So that was, I just wanted to get that in to this reading, and I'm sure I'll have more to say about money at another time, but for now, get out. And I pulled a card from the Shaman's Dream Oracle deck. It is Will-o'-the-Wisp, number 62. And do you think I got the pages from the guidebook? I sure did not, and I don't even know if I need them, but hold on, I'm going to grab them real quick. Okay, I got that. And so I pulled a second card from my Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck. I am over here. And it is the Stingray. So, previous days, well, today too, actually, but leading up today, I was seeing a lot of 5 action, like 555, a lot, like even more than twice a day on my clock, which actually happens. I'll see the the repeating digits AM and PM. I'm not looking for them on purpose. I just happen to look over at the clock when that happens. Okay, I'll take it. So, and change, like I've been talking about with the money, and that's changing, although changes that are happening with it, there's like talk of like the new world order and one currency, and it's supposed to be all doomy, but I don't feel like it's doomy. It sounds like they cleaned up a bunch of messy stuff and made it more like what I want, closer to like, ultimately I would like the Star Trek situation, which everyone thinks just because it's the Federation, it's true everywhere with the money that you don't have to pay for anything. Not every place, and they talk about it all the time in the beginning and a little bit later, but if you know your Star Trek, you know that it's a Federation, so not everyone's in it. They want to recruit people. All these prequel shows and TOS is going to show you that, you know, they're recruiting people constantly, trying to recruit planets, species, whatever it is. So I don't know how people forget that, but what I would like, because I think we're not going to make a leap from what we have now to Star Trek world, especially my personal experiences with Bitcoin that confirmed like every suspicion. I feel like it's a bridging period, maybe like adolescence or something, where you are sort of still kind of molding into your pre or young adulthood. And you know what happens there, like we look kind of unattractive, and most of us, in some way, our bodies are like moving all kinds of chemicals and hormones around, and Kitty, what you doing? Doing all kinds of, I don't know, stuff I can't explain that I couldn't see, except for when it made itself known on the surface. Luckily, I did not have the acne thing. I've had more acne after 40 than I've had in my whole life, and it's all been drug related. Stuff I have to take for my condition at various times has made me, wow. I mean, nothing to complain about if to other people that had it like every day. I had like 3 blackheads in my whole life. I know that's terrible. And lots of undergrounders but mostly you can't really see them, unless you got a special camera, I guess. And I can't see them, and I never have been able to, like in the mirror or the camera, it doesn't matter. They're just down there, not, hi, I'm here. I'm going to be all bumpy and greasy feeling, but that's it. That's like my acne, and then I've had like 7 whiteheads. I know it's terrible, and a few actual pimples, but I mean over the whole, it's bad. I shouldn't even complain. Except it was just like on top of all these other symptoms from medication that like blew me up like a balloon, except I wasn't purple like Veruca Salt. I was just big and round me. It was not. Having serious stuff wrong with you is really uncomfortable, and I know I'm describing like minor stuff, it sounds like, but the main thing that was wrong is that I was 26 and I all of a sudden was totally paralyzed on one side, so that was weird. And that was a period of change that was emotionally, oh my God, every stress symptom you could imagine, because I obviously couldn't work, wasn't able to support myself on my own like I always had and do now. But yeah, I strayed way far from the one world, one money thing. And since I think that all this transition, like even my messed up jabber I just made, contained some of what I was talking about, like none of that happens just smoothly and, you know, without issues and opinions that slow things down. And, you know, it's like nothing is just easy and fast that involves like a whole society. So, I don't think we're going to go from where we are now to like Star Trek. And I think the middle part, we should get to a place where like McDonald's finally understood America, because I think no matter what age you are, it's just easier if the cash register has a picture of the sandwich, and then you just always take the money and enter what they gave you, and you give them the change that the machine gives you. And I say that because, shoot, man, then they can't blame you for anything. And that didn't happen to me, okay? But one time when I was a kid, I was, I think, 13 or 14. Oh, no, I had to be older than that because I was in high school. How old was I? Well, 15 or 16, young. And this friend of mine, their uncle owned a Baskin-Robbins, so this friend got me a job there. And it was like my first job running a cash register, and I was bad at it. I could do it now. And it was one of those ones with no electronics, right? Like you had to use your brain to add everything up. Not even a calculator was in that place. And I could do the sales, like if you would just give me the money, I could make the change. But what would mess me up is that it'd be real crowded, and like every third person would give me, like, for $1.65, they'd give me $7, 2 pennies, a quarter, a dime, and like they'd just be all, here's some stupid change, figure out how to give me 2 quarters. And I'm just like, oh my God. How about I make the sale, give you your change, and then give you a change of quarters? Like, why do you gotta come in here and like break my brain? And I swear to God, it would always happen. Not that you could really tell a difference, but it was like summertime when I had this job, and it's always hot there to me. Like summer, not summer, it's just too hot. Like I'm the only native that just hates the heat. Well, not the only one. The only one I know of. But it would just be hot, and so all these people would be coming in for ice cream, and I'd just be like, oh my God. And then my partner would go on a break. And the whole room on the other side of the ice cream counter would be filled with people, and they would be in a hurry, and they did not like me. Oh my God, that job. I was 15, whatever it was, and I was like losing hair, stressed out. I'm lying. But it felt like it was almost that close. So yeah, I mean, as easy as you can make it as possible for the person running the till. Doesn't matter if you're a math genius, and these times today prove that to you for me, with the Karen or the Ken that comes in the store and acts just completely insane. One less thing you got to do with those people is like hassle over the money. So if the machine's doing everything, at least they can't scream at you about that. If the machine is slow, what are you supposed to do about it? You just run the thing. You don't repair it. You didn't make it. You know what I'm saying? Like the fewer things, the fewer stresses. Sorry, went down another sidetrack. Get back up here. Whatever I was talking about. So, yeah, but the change. And one of the cards I pulled definitely talks about sort of that, not just in general, not about like money change or whatever, total societal change. It's more of a sort of a personal kind of a thing that it refers to, like it reads as a personal thing. I don't know. So the card I pulled from the Shaman's Dream Oracle is number 62, the Will of the Wisp. And I did pull the book, but I only pulled it because just in case. Because here's something funny. Has nothing to do with this. Well, it has everything to do with it, but let me just say it so I can get out of the way. This card I kind of pull often, right? And you can see a little bit, like the edges have the color wearing off. But what I noticed just now when I left to go pull the book, look at this thing. Look at these pages. Look how uncurly they are. The whole rest of the pages are curly. I don't understand why this one's not dog-eared. Okay, I don't know. I just had to point that out. I thought it was interesting. Let me put this aside because I'm not sure if I'm going to want to use them. But change, yes, happening. Government, got elections coming up. I guess the debates are kind of insane. I'm not going to watch a debate. It was on last night when I was trying to watch something else, and I clicked away from it. That is, yeah, I don't want to watch that. I'll watch clips, thank you. But today, I see that the Indians were fighting, the India Indians, I believe that Ramaswamy and what is the woman that was ambassador? I keep wanting to say Tulsi, and I know that's not the one I mean. Seriously? I'll have to add it to the information box. Indians fighting. So I thought, well, that's interesting, because for one thing, usually it's cowboys and Indians fighting in America. These Indians are not, you know what I'm saying? Oh, don't just write one word, write all of it. Every time you do that, you're like, what was I talking about? Ooh, I almost had it. Hopefully it'll come to me. And then Ron DeSantis is, I think, I don't know how he got elected, what he did get elected to, because he is tanking big time. And the press and the public, everyone's so mean to him. I mean, not that I think he's mean to his state. That's how I feel about him, but I just feel like he's so defenseless. They're picking on his shoes. They're picking on his laugh. They're picking on his expressions on his face. He can't, I mean, somebody, I guess, said something to him, and I was just about to say he can't do anything about that. And for the most part, he can't. But it looks like he heard about that or someone said something to him, so it seemed like he was also trying to regulate his face. He was walking all strange. They're saying he has lifts in his shoes, and I don't know why he isn't firing back with Trump has lifts in his shoes. Go bug him. He's just like, he's not good. And the funny thing is, I think it's funny, is I think his wife would have made a much better politician. You can tell that she's just like I would, like one of those shrimps that punch, or shrimp rather. I think she's like that. Like, she doesn't look like she would be kind of lethal, but I think that she has a sharper tongue. I think that all of the nastiness that's coming out of him is inspired by her. I have nothing to support this except that if I've just seen him talking, and when he's, you know, trying to get people, she's behind him with this look on her face like she wants blood. That's what I feel like. And I think that may be why he's failing, because it's not genuinely him, like any of it. Poor guy. And then he had to lose all that weight for nothing. I'm sorry. That everything. You can't say anything about this poor guy because he's not doing so well. So anything you say kind of points that out. And if you're me, that feels like you're insulting him. And I don't want to pile on. I don't want him to get elected either. So I'm glad this is going so poorly for him. I'm thinking many Floridians will also be glad. So, this Will o' the Wisp card, the subtitle is Treasures Hidden in the Shadows. That's the thing about all this change stuff. Like, even just what I've been talking about is mostly kind of dark, but they say from chaos comes order. Chaos is not like skipping through the flower field or whatever, the meadow. There's darkness. There's darkness in the meadow. Think of this. Cute bunny pops out of its burrow to, what do they eat? I don't know, eat some kind of plant or get water, whatever it is, and they know their prey. That's why they're portrayed as nervous, because they have every reason to be, because once they expose themselves and create a difference in the field, the light field on the field, the totally possible predator of some sort of raptor could be up there, out of sound, out of sight. You know, the rabbit just has to operate on the, you know, like the belief that I could die at any time. Anytime I stick my head out of my hole, get ready for something to come flying down. Be ready for a shadow, be ready to run. I haven't watched nature shows where, like, that's the action. I don't know if rabbits have time to see a shadow and run. I know they're fast, but man, a raptor's gonna have a lot of gravity and speed and velocity and all this stuff. Like, I'm not sure the rabbit has a chance. But that's the darkness on your pretty field of flowers, you know? Like, oh, cute bunny, and then swoop, bam, blood, you know, like, oh, shock, trauma to the unsuspecting person watching. But this, I'm not gonna use the music, it's the circle of life. It is. I mean, go ahead, get mad at it, but really, wasting your time, why? You just understand that that's the way stuff happens. Happens with animals, happens with us. We're born, we die, the periods of our life, good things happen, fun things happen, happy things happen. Also, things that are sad and bad and ugly happen. Circle. So, treasures hidden in the darkness. Things look kind of bad and kind of ugly, and I think it's the tendency of many of us to go heading toward hopeless, but I have learned to just kind of stop that in its tracks, and I've been able to actually do that too. I'm so proud of myself, because it took a while, but if I feel myself even heading in that direction, I'm like, nope. Just think about something else. Don't even try to, like, repair. Don't be hopeless. Like, just something else, anything else, to distract from going in that direction. And you'd be surprised how well that works. So, but yeah, I mean, if we just, and okay, me, I'm always just talking about me. So if I'm watching something or reading something that is kind of negative, then it's like a series of steps. Like, I feel for the people, and then I just start feeling bad, and then just start thinking of, like, oh, this is terrible and that's terrible. And I think that's also a tendency that many of us probably have. And I say, why do we do that to ourselves? Stop. I'm trying my hardest to stop. We don't need to, like, pile on ourselves. And anyway, we're going to get through it. Like, whatever we're feeling and going through right now, if it's our trauma or someone else's is very distant and far away, if we're feeling something for it, we're getting a sliver of what they're feeling, and that's your empathy. And, you know, the sun rises and it sets, and then it rises again. Eventually, the darkness is gonna go away, you know, and we'll see what the result is, I guess, when the dust clears and the light can get through. But I feel like of course all of the war situations are gonna end, because eventually they have to. And so we can look forward to that, you know? And I think that, well, obviously there's going to be a winner and a not winner. And I hope the people that I think are the people that should be the winners, I hope that they will win, and I feel like they will, and psychics have said they will. So I kind of feel pretty good about that. Psychics, I trust. Go ahead, laugh about it. But before you laugh so hard, you know, maybe go see what one of them says and see how right or wrong they are for 6 months. That's about all you need. You'll see. Some of them are fake, true. But, I mean, you got to be able to tell the difference. Just like if you were going out on the street. Well, I don't know that I would try to find a psychic that way. I might check like a professional directory, because I would think that there's some kind of standards involved there where it can't just be some fake person. Anyway, so, I mean, it's also just my feeling that whatever comes after a war, when the dust settles and light can begin to come into people's lives in the situation, whatever is left is going to be good, because it's going to be better than what just happened. It's not going to be what was, but whatever is. I mean, that's just like a dream. And half the time, what we dream of going back to bears little resemblance to what actually was the case back when the good old days were happening, or whatever. We love to delude ourselves, we humans. Don't even try to say we don't. Probably you too, person watching. So, I also pulled this card, like I said, from the Animal Spirit Guide. And this one also has to do with kind of what I was talking about, like going through it. Oh, that scared me. It's okay. Everything's fine. Don't worry. So, I'm going to go ahead and read you this because it's pretty short. So stingrays obviously going to be your water energy. That's the upside down triangle there. Developing confidence, sense of self, or spine. The stingray card represents a pivotal point in personal growth. Personal, or also I'm going to say here, societal growth. The moment has come when the stingray must decide between the old, easy, comfortable, and familiar, and the new, challenging, uncomfortable, and unfamiliar. Pressure from family and friends makes the decision even more complicated. No matter what choice is made now, it's inevitable that this dilemma will surface again and again, like money. As the force of Dharma, power, growing within the stingray is too strong to ignore. When in balance, eager, wants to grow. When out of balance, blames others, quits. To bring into balance, move through the discomfort. See, I always breathe through stuff, but breathing, I think it probably achieves the same effect. So, this stingray card representing the pivotal point in personal growth, I feel like that's sort of maybe just after all of this, like when that light clears, because look at where this stingray is. You know it's a water creature, it's a sea creature. It's actually, nope, not going to bring that up, because then I have to explain it. But notice that, does that, like the water, the lines underneath it could very well be an abstract for moving water. But that stingray is clearly on top of the water, like out in the light, out in the open. I'm not sure what their air breathing capability is. Maybe I'll pay attention to that. Okay, but interesting. I was just going to say that if it cannot breathe air, that's pretty bold of it to be just up out of the water. Well, if it's just floating on top of it, I guess it's sort of in the water, but I was going to say it's like out showing itself because it's proud of itself. I don't know what leveling up this stingray was doing, but if you'll notice, the spine is sort of rainbow colored, or it gives you that idea. And that is because it's the color of the chakras, not the rainbow. But when I said it should be proud of itself, I thought, oh, rainbow pride. So what has it to do with that? The fate of the trans people, basically the LGBTQ plus community, is sort of in legal flux right now, but then so are the rights of women and, you know, black people, and I'm not sure what they're doing to people of other shades of brown, but I'm sure they'll find something. Jewish people are getting it again over a war that our country is not even in. Israel's just our ally, and we're doing what allies do, which is advising them and helping them with you know, equipment, weapons and crap. And people, like, I saw Rashida Tlaib having a speech. That girl was having a speech. She was making a speech. And she was, like, admonishing Joe Biden, the president, for not doing something about Israel just bombing the crap out of all these communities that are not all Hamas fighters and, you know, are just being killed uselessly because they're so savage and they just hate them so much they wanted to, you know, turn them into dust. And, like, that's terrible. So psychics, again, are saying that he's been on Netanyahu to stop it, to stop being this crazy violent person, because he's not going to help his own case. And by the way, speaking of his own cases, he also, like Trump, is in legal trouble. Like, while we gotta stop letting leaders, like we humans, gotta stop letting leaders that are in legal trouble remain in office. Like, this seems bad and dumb. Like, why are we doing it? Any of us. But anyway, I really feel like that, yes, from all of the darkness, and yeah, I also, speaking of darkness, just watched a couple of things just went by. I wasn't really watching it, but you know how you watch one thing and it kind of leads to another. There's like trafficking. The human trafficking is a big dark deal in the world, and so it's funny. This thing I was watching, I kind of just shut it off because it was just starting to make me sick due to the subject matter, the human trafficking. But they talked to a woman who's an actress, and she goes undercover and either is online or in like a Zoom or something. I don't think they put her in like actual physical danger. I think they keep her like back because she's not an agent and she's not trained to defend herself the way they are. I don't know like what in real life, but you know, the government can't just be putting people out to get killed. That would not publicly, that would be bad. So that's something she also does besides her acting work. And she was like, well, I'm doing all these stings, but who actually goes in and takes these people down? And she found out it was this agent, and he was Tom something, and he's retired now, and he's actually the subject of that Mel Gibson movie that Jim Caviezel stars in. But you know what? They don't say any of that. They talk about child trafficking all vaguely, and I was like, what is this? What are they doing? And so today I finally find out. I figured out along the way that there was actually some agent that had done something, and that it was actually a biopic. pick a lane. Is it like child trafficking, you're saving children, or is it a biopic? I don't know. But anyway, their marketing was so bad, I didn't even get that it was that guy until, like, I think the publicity was over and the movie had premiered, come and gone, and like months later, I kind of understand that, like, oh wait, there was an actual story here, and then today, like all these months later, all this time later, that there is an agent, he did some real things, and so I mean, and this is not a new story. That's what I guess is. I have a tone of annoyance with the whole, like, sort of super Q conservative MAGA child trafficking fanatics, because they act like they invented that. They didn't. It's been around since biblical times, but they've been talking about it on your, like, Nightline, 48 Hours, that type of show for years. And, like, they're like needles in a haystack here and there. They're getting girls, they're getting pimps, they're finding operations, they're getting Johns. But it was so pervasive that it was like, scooping water, trying to bail the ocean with a cup, with a sippy cup. It's just ridiculous. So, I mean, hopefully that all of the threads will start to lead to bringing all of that kind of stuff into light, so an end can be put to it and the people responsible can be prosecuted and incarcerated. So, yeah, that's all probably stuff like that, fraud, and just the real ugly sides of us that we can find a way to pull out of ourselves and then, attack our fellow man with. We can be so creative, I mean, like the serial killers that, snatch people or, and keep them in their house and torture them for however long and make them have their kids, like all of those kind of horrors. And they have been coming out, it seems like more frequently. So it feels like this comes afterward, like we're ready for it. After all of the darkness, we're ready to deal with the aftermath. And those of us who do will have ascended to a higher vibration in order to help assist with people that are both coming into that awakening themselves, the whole Kundalini situation and the spiritual awakening, and then also like awakening to the reality of some of these situations, because like all of these Trump investigations and Trump adjacent investigations are gonna throw so much light on so many things, and I just always laugh and find it ironic that Trump was like, drain the swamp, I'm going to expose everybody, and he keeps finding himself in the swamp with all of the bottom feeders. So that's a cute little laugh the universe gives us. Thanks, because that's pretty funny. I think I have said all I needed to say today. Thank you and good night.